Rome, 1600. The square is packed, the air thick with smoke and murmurs. Children climb onto barrels to see. Women press cloths over their mouths, not for modesty, but because they know the stench of burning flesh is coming. At the center, a man stands bound to wood piled high. His robe is torn, his face bruised, but his eyes are steady. The priests lean in, urging him to recant, to beg, to save himself. But he only whispers, "Perhaps you are more afraid to pronounce this sentence than I am to receive it." The torch drops, fire blooms, gasps ripple through the crowd. Some cheer, others weep, most just watch, not knowing if they are witnessing punishment or a seed being planted. The flames consume his body, but something else escapes, an ember that refuses to die. Moscow, 1930s. A kitchen at night. Curtains drawn, a single bulb flickers overhead. Families huddle close, shoulders almost touching. A woman passes a folded paper, her hand trembling. On it, words that could mean death. Words typed on a smuggled page, hidden in a loaf of bread, carried across borders. Someone reads aloud, barely louder than a breath. They lean closer, ears straining, because walls here are thin, and walls often listen. A neighbor has already vanished last week. Another man came home to find his wife gone, her shoes still by the door. And yet in these kitchens, the whispers do not stop. They whisper poetry, they whisper jokes, they whisper names of those already taken, so memory itself cannot be erased. Every whisper is a match struck in darkness, every silence, an act of survival. And still, the ember glows. Selma, 1965. The sun beats down on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Marchers move slowly, deliberately. Some are barefoot, some clutch children by the hand. Their hymn rises, "We shall overcome." At the far end of the bridge, a line of men wait with helmets, shields, batons, gas. The order is given. The hymn collides with fists. The air fills with screams, the crack of wood on bone, the choking cloud of tear gas. A woman falls, but hands lift her again. Blood streams down faces, but the song does not break. They march, even as their bodies are broken, because stopping would cost more. On that bridge, every step is a kindling of the same fire that burned in Rome, flickered in Moscow. Their blood soaks the road, but the ember blazes brighter. Istanbul, 2018. The street is busy, taxis honking, people weaving past one another. But in front of the Saudi consulate, time feels different. A man straightens his jacket, takes a breath, and walks toward the doors. His name is Jamal Khashoggi. He isn't carrying a weapon, only papers. He isn't chasing war, only a signature that would let him marry the woman waiting outside. She lingers by the gate, her eyes fixed on the glass doors, expecting to see him again in minutes. Inside, the marble floors echo with each step. Offices stand silent, too silent. A greeting, a handshake, then doors close. Beyond them, nothing that the world will ever fully see. Only fragments whispered later. A struggle, raised voices, then silence that does not end. Outside, the woman waits. Minutes turn to hours. She calls his phone. It rings and rings. The doors never open. The news spreads like a shockwave. A journalist who had written too sharply, questioned too openly, walked into a consulate and never walked out. And yet, in death, his voice grew louder. Protests lit up cities. Columns reprinted his words. The questions he had asked became harder to bury. A pen had unsettled thrones. A silence had spoken louder than power ever meant it to. Rome paid in blood. In 1600, Giordano Bruno burned alive in the Campo dei Fiori. His crime was daring to imagine a universe larger than dogma would allow. Moscow paid in exile. Poets like Anna Akhmatova whispered verses while her friends disappeared into gulags. Writers like Alexander Solzhenitsyn carried the weight of forbidden words, smuggling them out on scraps of paper, knowing discovery meant death. Selma paid in bruises and broken bones. John Lewis, Amelia Boynton, and hundreds of ordinary marchers faced batons and tear gas, their only weapon a song carried across a bridge. and Istanbul paid in silence that was meant to be final. Jamal Khashoggi entered a consulate and never returned. His questions were supposed to vanish with him. Instead, they echoed louder, reminding the world that truth, even when silenced, has a way of finding breath. Every age has paid. Every age has wrestled with the same fire. What was it? The ember that moved from square to kitchen to bridge to newsroom. The fire that terrified empires and outlasted them. It is truth. And the question is not whether it burns, it always does. The question is, when it reaches your hands, will you guard it? Will you whisper it, sing it, march with it? Will you pay its price? The ember has reached us. The torch is ours now. If history whispers anything, it's this. Truth is never cheap, and silence is never neutral. Rome burned a man. Moscow buried poets. Selma bled on a bridge. Istanbul silenced a journalist. And still the fire moves forward. So the question isn't whether truth demands a price. It always does. The question is whether we're willing to pay it. That's where I'll leave the lantern tonight. If this stirred something in you, share it with someone who still believes words can matter. I'm Quinn, and this is Think Again. Until next time, question on.